Na üdvi mindenkinek! Folytatjuk az Elex 2-t, ott ahol legutóbb abba hagytuk. Most lesz egy kis buli.
Here we go!
Kinyírtak egy ilyen gyíkot, vagy nyílt.
I really despise these creatures.
Hey, I'm not a big fan either.
We need to find where their transformation took place. If you take me there, I can conduct a proper analysis.
Ez egy nightség volt.
Give me a moment. I need to focus.
Fókuszáljál, vazeg. Idő kell neki a fókuszáláshoz.
This is alarming. I'm not sure what to call it. A plague? Whatever it is, it's far worse than I thought.
What'd you find out?
The incubation period is incredibly short. Those beasts became skyanids no more than 3 hours after becoming infected. And right where we found the creatures.
Does the size of the host make any difference?
I can't say for certain, but I don't think so.
Then what determines how long it takes? Is it just willpower like Dawkins thinks? There must be another way to fight this plague. Maybe something we haven't thought of yet.
Difficult to say. All we know is that the speed of change isn't down to one simple factor, like metabolism or physical constitution. Given the rate of mutation, And assuming it affects all living beings on this planet in a similar way, then
Then what?
it would only take a few days for the entire planet to be transformed if there's a real outbreak.
I was afraid you were gonna say that.
I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. I'll keep trying, though. Maybe if I could examine an especially large subject. I'll see if my
nagyon
scouts
nagy
can track
valamit
one
fog
down.
kelleni találjunk.
Thanks for your help. I'll let you know as soon as I have news.
Értelek. Akkor nincs. Az Elex Purity-t fogjuk megcsinálni.
It's sort of surreal to be walking around here. Without my weapon drawn, I mean. I can't shake the feeling someone might shoot me in the back at any moment.
Ekrom.
What's going on? Any news about the Skyant's troop movements?
We recently had word that a large formation of their troops is approaching. I wouldn't be surprised if they've already taken up positions in front of the depot. They will launch an attack soon. We must prepare for the onslaught.
You should negotiate with them.
I have tried. The principal leading them clearly indicated that he will only accept unconditional surrender. He wants our Elex. Needless to say, that is not an acceptable option for anyone here.
Értelek.
Does that mean the Albs are joining the war against the Skyans now?
It can't be helped. We will not surrender the depot without a fight.
I could try and stop them outside the depot.
That would help us a great deal, even if you could only reduce their numbers.
It was a mistake sending your guards outside.
As I patrol Ignadon, I shall reflect on the lessons presented by recent events. A fickle man is never as effective or as admired as a stalwart soldier in single-minded pursuit of a goal.
Okay, I get it.
We will take up positions here and wait for the attackers. We must prepare for battle.
Jó van, öreg. Intézkedünk. Mennyi lehet ott? Vagy 10 biztosan van. Ezeknek a masinériáknak kéne vinnie Janikat, mint a forró késavajat.
Here we go! Father!
Faszal, dobják a gömbös botot. Nem úgy gyógyítja magát, vagy mi a szar? Jó, hát így elég jó sikerült a dolog.
I'll get it! Careful! I'll get it! I'll get it!
Buli van.
Watch out!
Ow. Muszáj írnunk egy 8-ast. Az ott egy
You won't get
gránát
away
volt.
with this. You won't get away with this.
Ez egy kurátor, ez egy kurátor. Ez a principál. 188 pénzet volt csak, principálius úr.
Those soldiers tried to capture the depot. If the Skyans are now entering open confrontation like that, we don't have much time.
Lájkot komával beszélni kell. Hívjuk harcba a népet.
Let's get a summary of the tasks we have ahead of us.
Stand by.
I've taken care of the riots going on in the lands of the free people. That'll help out the Sixth Power. It's about time we took Dawkins out. The sooner the better. Last but not least, we need to get Cassandra to open the gateway to the main former. That's definitely going to be difficult. So let's keep going. We have a lot to do.
Stand by.
Valami újat.
Are you okay?
I'm well, thank you.
Oké. Nézzünk itt egy alvóhelyet. Meg felszereljük a cuccaimat. Repülve lövöldözgetés. Szemeleten kell aludni. Valószínűleg igen. Asszunk 2-3 napot. Aztán... Bassz, hogy így se lesz egy kurva ágy. Azért... Azt az a csúnya. Aludjunk.
Ugh.
I have it, but we need to move quickly.
Ez az.
You have what exactly?
A nagy...
The location of a large Skyanid, and I mean a
nice
really big one,
Skyanid.
recently mutated and waiting for us. But it'll
Jó.
disappear if we don't hurry.
Oké,
Okay.
menjünk.
Let's go see this giant Skyanid.
Come on. Look at it. The noise when it changed must have been deafening.
We should be careful. Looks like it's not alone.
You're the combat expert, so go on ahead.
Damn it.
Kezdjük azzal, az sok
Watch out!
problémát tud okozni. Ugyanúgy meg ilyen dolgok.
Watch out!
Jó.
least, right?
No worse than the rest of its kind.
All right, let's find the place where it underwent its transformation. You know what to do. Find the location, and I can get to work.
Megbeszéltük. A szitu az az, hogy itt van még egy kovácska.
Here! I need a moment.
Oké, kapsz egy percet. Verd az ipart. Csapa, és milyen jó lenne, azt le lehetne bányászni.
That was stomach-turning. This behemoth actually vomited during its transformation.
Did you find anything interesting at least?
The stench is overwhelming, but yes, I did make a surprising discovery. The voices and the other peculiar vibrations emanating from blue Elex, I sense them from this dark Elex too.
Of course. One clearly comes from the other.
They obviously have a shared origin. No doubt about it.
Well, doesn't seem that surprising. Anything else?
Both the blue and dark Elex derivatives can unleash remarkable powers. But only through another medium, an intelligence or organism that can guide it. Without that, the voices have no direction and cancel each other out.
So, something like an elemental magnet.
A what?
You don't know what a magnet is?
No. Judging by its name, a magical artifact?
Yeah, you could say that actually.
The next logical step is to analyze how Dark Elex affects a truly intelligent being. It's clear it possesses greater powers than our blue Elex. We need to see just what they are. Of course, that means examining a recently mutated human being. Do you think we can find one?
We might. Surely your scouts can help with the search again.
Let's hope so. I'll give them instructions and let you know as soon as I hear anything.
Jó vagyunk itt, térjünk haza. Itt alszunk, megkeressük a fertőzött emberet, hogy meg tudja vizsgálni azt is. Hát eddig tudjuk, hogy minden Elex összefügg egymással. A kék is, a fekete is. Gyorsan átváltoztatják az embert.
No,
I've just received word. My scouts believe they found something. A group of young Skyend agitators roaming the Ignadon hinterlands. Which just happens to be where the scouts saw people wandering a few days before. Do you remember when it all began?
You mean the comet?
No, you idiot. I mean between us. I know I've been hard on you sometimes, but... well, it was usually because you deserved it.
Yeah, I know.
How did it come to this? How did we drift so far apart?
Na. Mondjunk neki.
I guess that's just what was meant to happen.
Who knows? You always did know how to ruin a moment.
Oh.
Visszatöltjük, nem ezt mondjuk neki.
I've just received word.
Jó.
No.
Well, we could go back to how it was.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Freshly mutated soldiers. We should get out there right away.
Agreed. Let's go. Well, there we are. They're definitely Skyend agitators. They're an awful sight. Imagine having to serve the Skyends like this for the rest of your life.
We'll make sure that never happens.
Zsírkréta. Elkapjuk őket.
Well then, go on ahead. I'll be right behind you.
Biztos ezt akarod?
If it's all true.
It really is tragic.
Although they have greater intelligence than the average Skyanid, they're just as vicious and single-minded.
I'll need to examine the place where they mutated. Take me there.
Ó, se. Itt a cuccos.
Wait a minute.
Megvárunk. Megnézzük, hogy... Van 11 darabom, nagyon fasza. Össze tudom tenni a dolgokat. Még kéne még 10, 9. A nagy botot összerakni, az nagyon jobban kaszálna, mint a kasza.
It isn't easy, seeing what they went through. So much suffering. I don't know what's more alarming. That these young agitators seem to be able to control the Dark Elex, or...
Or what?
Well, they were out hunting for Elex, and once they found it, they ingested it.
What's so interesting about that?
It wasn't Dark Elex. It was our Elex.
So Skyans can process Blue Elex too. That's not good, is it?
Not at all. Imagine an army of these soldiers taking our Elex and mana, using it in their contaminated bodies. It's only a matter of time before Magellan's Blue Elex is completely blended with Dark Elex. Or should I say contaminated?
So pretty soon, Dark Elex could be the only Elex there is.
That, or a new derivative that combines them both. And whether they can be separated again afterwards, I just don't know.
Na,
But I
kékből
sense
lesz
that these
fekete
Skyans can
Elex.
communicate with the voices of the Elex, just as I do.
So they can control all the derivatives of Elex and communicate with the collective voices of each.
It would seem that way. But agitators are the lowest ranking Skyans and may not be as capable of dealing with Elex.
Ó,
I'll have to
fogadjuk el,
examine a
kell
freshly
kapni egy
mutated
kurátot.
curator before I can
Igen,
say more with
kurátot
any
kell
certainty.
elkapni. Ha.
That is, if they even exist. I'll instruct my scouts to look out for them. I'll keep you updated.
Oké. Térjünk vissza a helyünkre. Fogyasszák a kék Elexet, a fekete Elexet. A kék Elexből fekete Elex lesz. Ajaj, kell egy kurátor, az agitátorok már megvoltak. Kell egy kurátort szerválni.
I have some good news. The
Megvan a
good news is that
kurátor.
we found 2 people who have been recently transformed into Skyan curators.
And the bad news?
They're somewhere near the Epsilara Former in Tavar.
Ó,
Not the most pleasant of
egyformánynél vannak.
destinations. Jax, can we talk?
Sure.
Simán.
What is it?
Asszonyka,
I'm
mit
worried.
szeretnél?
I just don't know if I can do this anymore. My people needed someone like me, so I took up the mantle. Accepted the responsibility.
You always have.
Have I? Then why do my duties weigh more on me with each passing day? I'm no longer certain I can cope with it all. And yet my people need stability. What if I can't give it to them anymore?
You're the Berserker's most powerful mage. Maybe the most powerful of any faction. Who could do a better job than you?
Maybe, but I can't do this alone. It'll wear me down in the end if things don't change. I need to believe in a better future than one where I spend the rest of my life sitting on the Oracle throne.
I think I know what you mean.
Have you now? And what exactly are those thoughts?
We should give this another try,
Térjünk a
you know,
tárgyra.
me and you.
Jöjjünk
Don't you think?
újra össze.
You're serious about this, aren't you?
I've never been so sure of anything in my life.
I can't tell you how happy I am to hear that. I'd almost given up all hope, to be honest. But before we go any further, I have a few questions for you.
Ojoj.
You know, we never spoke about your time up on that mountain. What were you really doing there?
I needed time to myself. But believe me, now the day went by when I didn't think of you.
And why didn't you come back?
I've told you.
What, that unlikely tale of how you wanted to save the planet from annihilation? You had a curious way of doing it. You didn't even know if anything was gonna happen.
We both knew enough to see all this coming.
Damn it, Jax. What else could we have done? Run and hide like you always do?
I did not run away.
No, you just buried yourself so deeply you had only the rats for company.
You have no idea how hard it's been to convince everyone how serious this threat is. But you idiots are more interested in pointless arguments with other factions than your own survival.
What did you call me?
I need to keep going.
Csináltunk egy küldit, nem is akartuk. Oh, log. Purple is the new blue, yo.
Do you think it will last this time? This thing between us, I mean.
I'd like that.
It better last, because, well, I love you. And you know it, you son of a bitch. Are you alright?
Yeah, sure.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
So, where were we?
You know how this works. You lead, I'll follow.
I know just what you mean.
Are you alright?
Of course.
I just wish we had more time.
I know.
It's time I turn my attention to more important matters.
What the hell? I've been to worse, and if they're near a former, it shouldn't be too hard to find. I still haven't given up hope of finding an antidote to the Dark Plague.
I'll do what I can. Pretty imposing sight.
Yeah. And we're all screwed if they
Jó,
manage to finish the job they were created for.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. You're more familiar with this area. I'll follow.
Well, so be it.
Bazd meg. Kihúzzuk azt.
Watch out!
Ah, fuck. Jó, utálom ezt a repülőfajtát. Ó, itt van egy virág. Az nagyobb, mégse utálom annyira, mint azt a repülőszart.
I'll take care of that! Watch out!
Jé, a patkány életben van maradva, beszarok. Hozzá se nyúlnak csóri patkányokhoz. Hát ennek a faszinak itt nem jött be az élet, az biztos. És lőn a patkány életben van.
I'm here!
Itt a bejárat. Yes.
What the hell?
Yeah. All right.
Nincs itt
We
a
have to be real careful out
Még se
here.
öltük meg.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I see.
Ó, bazd meg.
Here we go!
Nem hiszem.
Watch out! Watch out!
ide hozzánk bajtikám.
Get behind me!
No.
Here we go!
Sokan vagytok.
The Dark Elix's effect on these poor souls is truly horrifying.
At least they're out of their misery.
But ours is just beginning. I hope the place where they mutated can bring us some answers. Take me to it.
Mindent szépen sorban, asszonyka. Először összegyűjtjük a lovettákat.
It's dangerous around here. Careful! Step aside. I have to focus.
Fogsa, én addig bulizok itt egy kicsit a fiúkkal. Azt a kurva anyját! Hogy megy ez a raketta, tiszta menő. Na? Asszonyka, mi a hányas?
I'm finished. Now let's get out of here.
Not before you tell me what you found.
I will, only the effort has completely drained me. The more I see, the more I wish I could unsee it. I can say for certain now that the Elex derivatives come from the same source. Their vibrations are the same, so is their origin.
The singularity. Yeah, we know that. What else?
The Elex derivatives communicate not only with their host, that is, the carrier organism, its mind, they also communicate with each other. In fact, they appear to complement each other.
Compliment?
They influence and attract each other, like those... What did you call those magical artifacts?
A
Magnets.
mágnesek?
Yes. I inquired about them after you mentioned them and learned about their powers of attraction.
Wait. You're saying one Elex attracts the other?
Az Alexek
Right. One
vonzák
seeks out the
egymást.
other and is
Mi?
driven to merge with it. It's not unlike gravity. The attraction is powerful when the voices of the Elex are directed. In fact, when found in large quantities, it has a force many times greater than our planet's gravitational pull. Elex is still extraordinarily rare in its pure form. It's usually bound with other substances from this world, weakening its force so that we hardly notice it.
So it needs some kind of medium, a mind, to focus the Elex voices and have an effect.
You got it. It's almost as if Elex was created with a single purpose, the control of mind over matter. But what kind of being would be capable of designing and producing such a powerful substance, and even imbuing it with its own consciousness?
There's always been talk of the singularity being a divine intervention in some way.
What else could it be? Only a deity would be able to do this. Whatever the ultimate source, I doubt this is the limit of its powers. I fear the Skyans and Elex are merely the harbingers of something far greater. Something of cosmic proportions. Something divine.
Maybe. But in the meantime, we still have a few human problems to take care of down here.
After examining all the evidence, I'm afraid that curing the Dark Plague is not going to be a simple matter. To be honest, it's beyond my comprehension. All we can do for the moment is try to contain the Dark Elex. We cannot allow it to reach a critical mass. If that happens, the outbreak that follows will be uncontrollable. We won't be able to stop the plague.
Well, at least we know where we stand.
True. As long as there's a chance for survival, we must press on. However slim that chance, we can't let it pass us by.
Ojoj, Singularity közeledik. Vonzzák egymást. Ojoj, 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 minden ojoj. Hol kell ezt csinálni? Adam Deltara. Valószínűleg ki kell szabadítanunk Adam komát. Milyen lent van, hát bemegyünk, nincs mit tenni. Az út többnyire szabad. Tűnik. Lehet el se kapták, baszki. Nagyon úgy tűnik, mintha az úton állna. Még mielőtt lemegyünk ott harcolgatni, megnézzük. Lehet nem is kapták el még. Gyorsan fogyik a kakaó. Ó, nem kapták el, fasza. Szia, Adam Koma.
Finally. I thought I'd never find you.
Jax, you're here. You came to save my life?
Actually, I still don't know what I'm gonna do with you. Should I ram my gun down your throat now or after you explain things?
I see. I take it you've spoken to the Skyans.
Did you really think you'd keep your story secret forever?
No, but I hoped I'd get the chance to explain everything to you before the invaders did.
You've had plenty of chances. If things hadn't turned out this way, you probably would have taken the secret to your grave.
Maybe you're right, but perhaps we should get out of here before...
You're not going anywhere. Not until you tell me everything you've done. To me, to humanity.
Well, seems I don't have much choice. All right, let's talk about it if we must.
Na jó.
When did you find out about the comet heading for Magellan? Was it before or after you started planning to live forever?
The comet wasn't the beginning. I first sighted it 5 years before it crashed here. But even before that, years before, when I was still a young man, I observed a much more significant phenomenon in the sky.
The singularity.
All my research, all the observations, all the calculations, they all told me this was an incredible discovery. It was the answer to all the questions humanity had ever asked, and more, much more than that. But I didn't have the resources then to fathom its true nature. Then, years later, when the Infinite Skies Corporation was founded, I had my chance. Unlimited resources, everything I needed, and still, I couldn't really comprehend what I was seeing. It seemed to turn all the laws of physics, all the laws of nature, on their head. The results of my research and the lessons I learned from the Singularity's behavior brought me fame and the recognition of my colleagues. But even when many of them tried to denounce me, I continued my research, though I soon reached the limits of what I could learn.
Hogy csináltad?
How did you create Elex?
Hogy csináltad
I
az
didn't.
Elexet?
It was there all along, in the Singularity itself. Elex is a part of it.
Hogy az
It just
Elex a
needed to be
Singularity
modified and
része,
adapted to humans.
és
I was
csak
getting old then,
változtatott rajta.
increasingly aware of my mortality. I realized I would never reap the rewards of my work if I didn't...
Find a way to live forever.
Yes. Even there, the Singularity helped me set the wheels in motion. But I couldn't do it down here on Magellan. I had to go up, to the Singularity itself. It was the only place with the right conditions. But the journey would have taken far too long. I needed a faster way. A technology you've seen for yourself. It's been a feature of the skies for years, ever since the war against the Alps.
You mean the strange ring the hybrid created?
Correct. An artificial wormhole. A bridge from this world to another. I sent a group of scientists through it. They came back more than 160 years later as highly developed, immortal beings.
Basta.
Why didn't you go yourself? Why leave it to others?
Because of the comet. This rock, this tremendous destructive force on a collision course with our world. I was afraid if I went with them, we'd return to a planet reduced to rubble and dust.
And that's exactly what happened. You didn't stop it. Whether you were here or on the other side of the galaxy.
It wasn't a question of whether it would hit Magellan. The question was whether humanity would survive.
You could have saved the planet. You could have changed the comet's course with your spacecraft.
I tried. I was the one who started projects like Cassandra and Callahan. But when panic breaks out, well, few people are willing to pull together for a common cause.
How did the first Elex get into the comet?
My Cassandra scientists had to hurry once they reached the Singularity. They quickly had their first success. They sent Blue Elex back to us on a carrier rocket. But soon after launch, it became clear it would never reach Magellan. A fatal miscalculation they could do nothing to correct. But the rocket could reach the comet that was fast approaching the planet. So they steered it onto its path, and soon, the Elex was here, and my work could begin.
Your work to prolong your miserable life at the expense of millions of other lives.
Yes, a tragedy, I admit.
How did you manage to smuggle all those scientists aboard Cassandra without anyone realizing it?
At first, nobody knew anything about the comet or any spacecraft. Of course, once things were in the open, I was forced to share my research with everyone. Research that might save a lot of lives. maybe all of them. But Cassandra was to be my project. I kept it secret to make sure it didn't suffer the same fate as Callahan. All people did was argue, blaming mistakes on each other. I couldn't allow that to happen with Cassandra. So
you got rid of anyone who could have talked about it, right?
it was a dark time. Not one I'm proud of.
Your scientists, or whatever they are now, spoke of the singularity as if it were a god.
Isn't it? It contains secrets that no one, not even I, could ever discover. Not in 1,000 lifetimes of research. It gives eternal life. It creates new life forms from nothing. It decides whether we all live or die.
Principal Teac says it's moving towards us. It could hit us at any moment. And from what you're telling me, this is nothing like a simple comet. This will destroy us all.
So what is it, if not pure divinity?
Stop fucking with me! How do we stop it, genius?
The Skyans have been set on their path from the very beginning. It's this plan that drives them. It's their reason for being. The reason anyone who gets in its way is destroyed.
Oh yeah? So what is this plan?
All in good time, Jax. We need to survive this war before we can move on to the next one.
What about the DNA replication?
I've been trying to prepare the planet for the arrival of the Skyans for years. That's what the Albs and their directive were for. And for a while it was working. But once the Albs set up the first converter in the lands of the Free People, the tide turned. The hybrid, that thing I was a part of once, sensed resistance among the Albs. There were a lot of skeptics and even saboteurs, especially among the technicians. The foundation of a hostile group, the Separatists, became inevitable. But there you were, a highly effective and confident commander. Even then, your willpower was a thing to behold. I replicated my own DNA with that of the Alb with the greatest mental strength I could find, to protect myself and my legacy. It was a backup, if you will. Being in the hybrid capsule prevented me from doing anything as mundane as procreating.
That explains your interest in my son. But you won't be going near him again. I'll make sure of that.
After the replication, your willpower became even stronger. You were the only one who could resist being promoted to Alexander. Even implanting a control chip in your head had little effect. That's one reason I chose you to establish and lead the Sixth Power. If anyone can stop the Skyans, it's you.
Where does this great willpower come from? What did you do to me that even the Skyans don't understand?
The gifts to exercise great power over Elex are rooted in the configuration and harmonies of an individual's DNA. And willpower is one of these gifts. There are others, such as superhuman creativity or imagination, or superhuman strategic and mathematical problem-solving. You and I are not just the humanoid anomalies the Skyans would have us believe. We are Elex elementals, my friend. Our gifts give us the power to shape both ourselves and the fate of the world.
Why the Sixth Power? Why so much effort?
Because the Skyans want to level the planet, and I no longer have the power to stop them. I'm not one of them anymore. I'm their enemy.
Who can blame them for wanting you dead? All these elaborate schemes, all that effort, for such a long time.
Well, that's the price of eternal life, and I'm paying it now.
And so is everyone else, you bastard. You're nothing but a murderer.
Maybe, but the Skyanids are far worse. Just think of the sheer scale of what they're doing.
And what about what we did in those converters? Squeezing the Elex out of people.
What is it you want, Jax? Justice? World peace? What's that compared to standing before God and being granted eternal life?
You've done nothing but lie and manipulate me. Well, I'm done. The super soldier you bred to serve you quits right here and now.
There's no need for us to be at odds, Jax.
Of course there is. It's the only way I'll ever be free.
Fine, if that's the way you want it. Just don't expect me to give up without a fight. If I win, I promise to honor your legacy. Your work will not have been in vain.
Enough talking. Let's end this now.
As you wish.
Most harcolni fogunk.
Big mistake!
Igen. Nagyon erős. Vagy mégse. Halhatatlan. Eltűnt. A kardja ott van.
We'd better get a move on and get the hell out of here.
Damn it. That son of a bitch. Doesn't matter. I need to keep going. Otherwise there'll be nothing left to fight for. Ugh. My head.
Sejtettem, hogy valamit titkol az Edem. Kronival beszélünk. Gyorsan a menü lehet repülni, hol kronikámnál szédelegél.
Let's get a summary of the tasks we have ahead of us.
Stand by.
We've cleared all the obstacles that have stopped us from marching into Marikor. Now the Sixth Power can do what it was meant to do. I'll go through the plan of attack in Marikor with Thialg. We'll free the territories from the invaders. But what then? We still haven't got a plan for how we're going to get the gateway open.
Probability that Cassandra will cooperate, 0%.
Nem meglepő.
Yeah, I know, little guy. Her machines aren't taking any half measures. Nobody can match up to their willpower.
Analyzing.
Also, I still don't know how we're supposed to get in. Let's take care of the other things first. I'll figure out the rest as we go.
Acknowledged.
Oké. Thialggal kell diskurválni. Ahhoz képest, hogy papírról újjáépítettünk, itt mindent elég szarállapotban van minden. Ó, jó, válunk. Előszerűből is van sok. Nem, te vagy Thialg, te vagy Thialg.
You recruited your father? Was no one else available?
He's a good commander and strategist. We should give him a chance. But keep an eye on him, too. He's already stabbed me in the back once.
I'll be vigilant. You can be sure of that.
This is it. Let's gather the forces of the 6th Power and march into Marikor.
Yes. Now is the time. I've received reports of Skyan troops moving into Marikor. A principal and his combat troop are waiting in the center of Marikor on the command of the main former. Another is located in the corporate ruins to the west of this territory. There's also a group of Skyans in one of the Skyanid-infested sectors on the front line in Marikor. Reportedly, there's a second group directly behind them, in the uninhabitable sector. Of course, they're at the entrance to the pass that leads to this cursed land of Marikor. All factions are about to invade our territories with their primary forces. If we don't deal with this now, it may already be too late.
So what's your plan?
Nagyon sok csapatot kell
Our
legyőzni.
military forces will
Vagy
take
hatot.
care of the Skyan curators and agitators. You and your comrades can help best by taking care of their leader. Then destroy everything that's left.
So let's go.
We're ready to march immediately.
Very good. Let's end this invasion as quickly as we can.
Move out!
Oda is megyünk. Jó lenne, ha nem mennénk egyből oda, mert visszajött a gyerek. Miért jött vissza a gyerek? Ember fasza. Még kombinációk lesznek a dologból. Jó. nem
Interesting.
jött Vissza. Össze akarom rakni a botot.
Remind you of the danger of the old. It's better to stick to the reliable advantage of technology. Whether it's a shotgun or a laser weapon, anything is better than the risk of disease. This is Herbert speaking to you from the
458.
orbit.
369. 458-at fog tudni. 458-at fog tudni. Hát több, mint a másik. Oké. Adunk el neked dolgokat. Mondjuk 14 ilyen kardot. Szerintem ez nem fogja elérni azt a szintet, ami nekem kell. Ez talán igen. Image-et 206-os. 6 mínuszos. Ez is mehet. Azt mondja, hogy van itt még pár eladni való. Jó, és veszünk tőled lőszert.
To all communities and lone warriors. Things that
Jó. Abilities. Constitution 85. Ez annyira nem lényeges nekem. Ide kell még egy, ide kell 2. Ezt ki lehetne tanulni. Hol lehet ezt kitanulni? Kitanuljuk ottan. A regenerálódás mindig jó. Helynál Már hogy vagy? Jó ötlet volt ezt a faszit megmenteni, tud tanítani dolgokat. Oké. Ezt kivesszük. Dobj. Igen, hát ezeket a hadtesteket kéne megsemmisíteni. Megyünk ahogy tudunk.
Oh, fuck!
Ojoj. Ezt nem így terveztem. Nincs felszerelve a retro roketem? Mi a picsa ez? Itt kérem. Gyere, koma! Az idő. Elhalálozni. Csöcsi. Ahol egy farkas van, ott általában több is szokott lenni. Miért nincsenek itt farkasok, fura? Ahhoz képest, hogy mennyiféle ásvány van, nem nagyon van lehetőség craftolgatni, úgyhogy megérje craftolni,
No, just can't do that yet.
Na, itt fog indulni a buli, innen folytatjuk majd a következő videóban. Csácsó micső mindenkinek, gyertek majd akkor is!